What's up, guys? Welcome back. This is the Amateur Hour Weekly Show, and I'm El Aficionado. I'm coming to you this week. I've put together a pretty good script for us. With all the hype surrounding the World 11 that's going to be coming out here very soon, I decided I was going to put together my World 11, the Comedy World 11. So let's jump right into that. Be sure to like and subscribe and catch all this content that keeps coming out. So the World 11, what is it? What does it mean? It's when FIFA puts together a list of what is supposed to be the best 11 players, one at each position in the world. Obviously, there's a lot of controversy that surrounds that because a lot of the best players play in the same positions. Rather unlucky for a lot of people who will never ever be nominated, even though they probably deserve it. So there's a lot of drama and controversy that surrounds this every year. It's surrounded this year too. I mean, it's inescapable. But it's coming out next week, and so with that voting going on, I figured, well, why not put together my dream 11 for a terrible team. Coming to Anytown, USA. Me and my agent were actively working to communicate with these teams because I'm sure they're probably ready to get rid of most of these players. We're going to try to bring this to Anytown, USA. Haven't thought of a team name yet. If you got one, give it to me. I have decided on a team sponsor. We're pursuing a sponsorship from the Big Baller brand because you got to go big or go home. So that's what that is. Anytown, USA, I hope you're ready because you're about to be handling the hottest 11 in the world right now. So I'm going to hit you with this. We're going to start at keeper. And what World 11 list or Comedy World 11 list would be complete without Loris Karius leading the line? The man with the man bun is actually pretty ugly hair if you ask me. That's the only thing he's got to be proud about though, so I'm not going to take it from him. But if you don't know who Loris Karius is and you watch soccer, you've been living under a rock. The man that single-handedly lost the Champions League final. He can't catch a cold. He couldn't distribute anything. I mean, he couldn't distribute like compliments on a sunny day. He can't. Karius can do very little correct. He played for Liverpool. He replaced the Simon Mignolet. So what does that say about Mignolet? But you know, I can only have one starter, so Mignolet doesn't even get that here. But Loris Karius, the Besticus man now. Liverpool shipped him out of there as quick as they could in the summer. But you win this one. No one can take it from you. This is a trophy. You can drop it like you dropped the Champions League trophy, but this is a trophy. Haven't decided what it's shaped like yet. You have any ideas, leave it in the comments below. Coming out through the left, at left back, I wanted to give some recognition to a man probably none of you have ever heard of, and for good reason, because he never ever plays. And that is Theo Hernandez. What makes Theo Hernandez never play, you might ask? Well, it's not necessarily his fault. But behind every great player, there's a guy that no one really cares about. And that's the unfortunate spot that Theo Hernandez finds himself in. Marcelo is the wonderful left back for Real Madrid. He's only missed like 2 or 3 games to injury in the last 3 or 4 years. So the Theo Hernandez, his backup, gets little love and even less support. So that's why he makes this Comedy 11. So congratulations to Theo Hernandez. You got recognized for something. My first center back in this World 11, the powerhouse that he is Ragnar Klavan. Why do I nominate Klavan for anything, you might ask? Well, I got to give it to him. He got out of Liverpool just in time to not win anything. What a guy. I mean, he timed it perfectly. He said, I'm not very good. Liverpool's pretty good. I'm going to leave, and that's obviously going to be the best decision for me. So that's just what he did. Liverpool shipped him out to Cagliari, the Italian not-so-powerhouse, and there he stays to this day, looking not very menacing with his strange blonde hair and his ineffective aerial powers. My second center back is going to be Shkodran Mustafi of Arsenal. Why do I include him? Number one, because I dislike him very much as an Arsenal fan because he makes me nervous every time he so much as walks on the soccer field. If you didn't watch soccer last season in the Premier League, you wouldn't know, but Mustafi could get turned by your grandmother. That's how poor his defending was last year. Arsenal gave up almost the most goals in the Premier League. They didn't win a point on the road. It didn't earn a point on the road. And Mustafi was there playing 90 minutes and throwing gasoline on the already burning fire that was Arsenal's attempts to get into the Champions League last season. So Mustafi, you get this one. You get the nod. I hope you enjoy it, and please turn your performances around. Coming out to right back, I was thinking to myself, at some point, the worst team in Europe, one of their worst players has to get a nod on this team because you might not have heard of him, but they deserve to be on the worst 11 just for how freaking terrible they are. And that player is Ivan Baliu, the Mets right back. Yes, if you don't know who Mets is, it was the worst team in Serie 1 or League 1. And if you don't know what League 1 is, it's the worst league in Europe. So take that for what you will. Ivan Baliu, he came out of the Barca Academy, the renowned academy. At 12, he was a hot prospect. That's always a sad thing when you peak at 12 years old. He's getting the award here. He's getting the nod. He's a top 11, even if it is only El Aficionado's Comedy 11. But hey, Anytime USA would be lucky to have him. So Ivan Baliu, my worst right back of the season. Moving into my center midfield, I'm excited to run a 4-3-3 with this powerhouse team that I'm going to be competing with here. And my one of my CDM spots, I've got him mainly for the comedy, half for his name and half for his magnificent hair. He's Hasma Chudbury, the Leicester City backup central midfielder. He's got a fro the size of Texas. He's got a name that makes me want to giggle every time I say it. And he has very little skill on the ball. So if you don't know who he is, it's because he never plays. But if you haven't seen a picture of him, you should look him up because it is quite entertaining. His bouncing fro will intimidate any team coming through the United States soccer system. My other CDM, I've got a man. His name might sound familiar, but not for a good reason, and that's Hazard. No, not Eden Hazard, Thorgan Hazard. I decided to give Thorgan the nod just because I kind of feel bad for him. It's bad to live in the shadow of your older brother as he gallops through Europe, moving through defenders with ease, and you're stuck in Borussia Mönchengladbach and a very amateur player at best. Hazard did earn a call up to the Belgian national team, so he got the honor of sitting there and watching his older brother destroy teams while he watched 90 minutes on the bench. But, sometimes you just got to live in the shadow. It's preferably not your brother's shadow. So Thorgan Hazard, you get the nod here. I almost went with Axel Witsel to close my Afro trio. I should give away my CAM, but I did not because I wanted to give some love to Hazard, and Witsel I just don't think is even good enough to get on the worst 11. So that says something about him. So Thorgan Hazard gets the nod. I have my CAM. You should already know. It's my favorite player in the world, Marouane Fellaini. His bouncing fro and his 99 headers always make me giggle whenever I'm watching him play. Someone should just put him at center forward and just lob balls in the box, because I swear that man can head anything, anywhere. He's never lost a header in his life. Was that too soon? But he hasn't lost too many headers in his life. How about that? Marouane Fellaini. Manchester United's plan B, hopefully not your plan B. Go to a doctor for that. What more needs to be said? He's my captain. Oh, captain, my captain, leading my midfield, Marouane Fellaini. Moving out to my left wing, I've got the always powerful and speedy Peter Crouch. All 4 million years old of him, I decided he'd be more effective as a winger than as a center forward. He'd probably score more goals. The Stoke man went down to the Championship last season. He used to score a bunch of goals for Liverpool, mainly thanks to being 7 feet 75 inches tall. But I figured it's cutting in on his unstoppable right foot and using his speed to power to the byline would be a more effective use of Peter Crouch out there. So he'll be leading the left wing, scaring backs across the league here in America. Peter Crouch. Out of my right wing, I've got a player. I decided I needed to include one MLS player because, let's be honest, this is a comedy list, and the MLS is mainly comedy. So, out of the right wing, I've got the one, the only, the gleaming, bald-headed Michael Bradley. All $6.5 million of him, the second highest paid player in the MLS. He took a downgrade this last season with Toronto from center midfielder to center back. It didn't do him any good, so I decided I'd give him an upgrade and try him as striker. Out on the right wing, his obvious power and skill on the ball is hard to be missed. He scored a wonderful goal against Mexico and did nothing else for a whole entire calendar year. So, Michael Bradley, MLS Man of the Century, my right wing. Only one man left to complete my starting 11, and there's only one striker left fitting to do it, and that's Alvaro Morata. Oftentimes the best defender for any team that Chelsea was playing, the man that couldn't score, anything. He couldn't score if he was shooting it into the ocean. He had that bad of a scoring season. Most strikers try their whole life to get number 9. Morata was actively running away from it as fast as possible, switching to number 29. And still at Chelsea. I hate Chelsea. I had to include a Chelsea player in this Comedy 11. But he's going to be on my team. He's going to be leading my line. He's going to be bagging goals left and right because he's a goal scoring machine. Alvaro Morata, my number 10. Or number 9, not number 10. Sorry. On my bench, I had a couple of honorable mentions that we are actively communicating with, trying to recruit to this wonder team that we're putting together. Honorable mentions include, but are not limited to, Timo Bakayoko, who could not even get a nod here. Ouch. couch. Anyone named Dylan, the whole entire U.S. men's national team, and Joel Embiid, because you should not be trusting that process if you've watched him play soccer. So that's a pretty strong honorable mentions. If you guys have any other suggestions, leave it in the comments. I'll be sure to hit them up. If you like this, be sure to let me know, and I'll try to do a comedy FIFA rankings. If you want me to have any video suggestions, let me know, and I'll try to get them in here. So like I said, coming Anytime USA, Big Baller Brand sponsored, the Wonder Team, the Marvelous Starting 11 that would not beat anyone, that would probably lose to anybody. So that's my Comedy 11. This is the Amateur Hour Weekly Show, so I've got to give you my moment of the week and my worst moment of the week. My moment of the week has got to be the U.S. men's national team being in Mexico, even though they were much depleted in Mexico. But since they were much depleted, I decided to add another moment, and that is Marco Asensio's game against Croatia. 2 goals, 3 assists. What a day. Scored a banger of a goal, too. Marco Asensio, you get El Aficionado's official moment of the week. I should get a little trophy for that. Just a little trophy. Give it every week. And my worst moment of the week, not necessarily confined to soccer, this is just the worst thing I saw. And it was the Cleveland Browns celebrating a tie to open the season. Oh my gosh, come on guys. I mean, I know you haven't won in like 2 years, but still, celebrating a tie, disappointing at best. So the Cleveland Browns, you get the worst thing I saw this week. You don't get an award because that shouldn't deserve an award. So yep. Hope you guys enjoyed this show. The Premier League will be back this weekend. Harry Kane's Luscious Locks will be bouncing the Premier League back to us versus Liverpool at 7:30 on Saturday. I'm going to be watching. It's going to be a great game. I hope you're watching. Hope you tune in afterwards so you can get my weekly show next week where I'll give you a recap and a couple of funny points to take home for the week. So my weekend has meaning again. The Premier League is back. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoy the games. I hope you enjoy life. I hope you come back next time. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I will catch you later.